Who knew there could be so much pain in such a little plant? We're going to be talking about Steak 48 today. Steak 48 is what I would classify as a pretty nice steakhouse. Steak 48 was founded by the Mastro brothers. Mastro brothers had previously founded Mastro's, which is also a steakhouse. But in 2013, Mastro's was sold to Landry's. Landry's owns everything, in case you were wondering. And after that acquisition, the Mastro brothers decided they wanted to do something else, and they founded Steak 48. Steak 48 is named after Arizona, the 48th state in the United States, which the brothers are from. In fact, Mastro's opened in Scottsdale, Arizona for the first time in 1990. Pretty much everything on their menu is unique or original in some way. So I've picked my 5 favorites, and I'm going to make them and hopefully make them correctly or in a way that is drinkable and not horrible and doesn't make me want to spit it back out. The first drink I want to talk about is the Mango Habanero. Gin, Ancho Reyes, mango, lime, and of course, habanero. So I'm going to cut the tip off. In fact, if I want to make it real spicy, and get the seeds, that's where the real spice is at. I'm gonna take a sliver. I'm gonna try not to overdo it, because I want to drink this and not hurt myself. This recipe specifically calls for Hendrick's gin. That was a crispy cork. We're gonna use 2 ounces of Hendrick's gin, right on top of that pepper. It calls for Ancho Reyes because clearly the habanero is not hot enough and we need more. 1/2 ounce Ancho Reyes. Next, it's calling for mango. A few different ways you could go with this. You could probably use puree. I am going to use nectar because in my brain, this is a drink and we would be using a syrup. So why not just use nectar? We're going to use 1/2 ounce. Lastly, we need lime. I'm going to be using 3/4 ounce of lime. There's our lime. Now I'm going to shake it. The mango habanero. Let's see how it is. Let's see how bad I messed it up. Let's see how it is. Smells very gin on the nose. That's pretty good. Up front, you get the full force of the gin and all those floral notes, but it's very softened by the other ingredients, by the mango, specifically the mango juice that I used. And then at the end, after the floral notes come in, then you get smacked by the spice. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure if the spice is coming primarily from the pepper or the Ancho Reyes, but I would not add any more. It's really remarkably smooth. If you like spicy things, this is for you, for sure. The pomegranate blood orange calls for citrus vodka, pomegranate liqueur, blood orange juice, and lemon. I'm gonna build this drink in equal parts because I think that's what makes the most sense. However, I am gonna add a touch of simple syrup to it because I think that it's gonna be pretty tart. So let's start with our blood orange. I don't wanna do the math, I'm just gonna make everything 1 ounce. Next we want lemon juice, 1 ounce. Pomegranate liqueur. This brand, I don't know how to pronounce this, I think it's pomegranate liqueur. This stuff is really good, by the way. Citrus vodka, 1 ounce. And then I'm gonna sprinkle in, I think 1/2 ounce is good. 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. I don't wanna overdo it. All right, let's shake this. This looks like if I spilt it on myself, it would ruin my shirt. Let's see how it is. Oh, that's delicious. So I will say with my build of this, you barely taste the alcohol. And it can maybe do with some more vodka. I think the vodka should probably be higher. But other than that, this is delicious. This is like, it's fruity. It's tart, so good, so well balanced. I think that simple syrup was a really good idea. I think it would have been kind of out of whack without it. The only thing I did wrong is I think the proof could come up. You could definitely lift the proof. There's only 1 ounce of vodka and 1 ounce of, what is this even? There's only 17%. So it's not a whole lot of proof in this. So realistically, do I think the restaurant is using more vodka? I don't know. Other than that though, that's amazing. So drink number 3 is gonna be the River Oaks Rita. The River Oaks Rita calls for tequila, a very specific orange liqueur that we'll talk about, agave, and lime. So what makes this interesting, even though it's just a regular margarita build, is it's using this Clement Creole Shrub. It is an orange liqueur. We'll start with this because I'm already holding it. Or 3/4 of an ounce of this Creole Shrub liqueur. And use 1/4 of an ounce, if even, of agave. I'm gonna squeeze a lime. We're going for 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice here. Last but not least, 2 ounces Don Julio tequila. Don Julio is really hard to find for some reason. I'm not gonna rim the glass because I don't care. Let's see how the River Oaks Rita is. Smells like a margarita. It tastes like a margarita. So it is a little bit smoky. That has to be coming from the Creole Shrub because this is the exact same specs as every margarita. It has like a smoky quality almost to it. I don't want to say it tastes like mezcal, but it tastes much more adjacent to mezcal. If I didn't know better and you told me this was mezcal, I would probably believe you. Don Julio is one of my more favorite tequilas, and I'm not picking up the Don Julio really strong. That's really, really good. The aftertaste is very much orange. This is a pretty fire margarita. We're only gonna do 2 of the whiskey cocktails. The first one is just called the Walnut, and it is going to be Basil Hayes bourbon with black walnut bitters and brown sugar simple. Smells very citrus. Dare I say it almost smells a little chemical, but I think that's the citrus. Let's just see how it tastes. Yeah, man, it's good. It tastes very similar to the last walnut I made. Only difference is there's that citrus element. You know, very nutty, very brown as a flavor. But the citrus kind of adds another element to it. The citrus kind of makes it a little bit more sharp. For the most part, it's an old-fashioned though, so. One more old-fashioned variation called the Whistlepig Rye, and this is a old-fashioned that is specifically using piggyback 6-year rye from Whistlepig. Unlike the other one, this is 96.5 proof. Chocolate bitters. Let's see how it is. It smells very strongly of the rye. It's again very brown sugar and mapley and it's a little bit less spicy. You can certainly tell it's a rye, but it's a little bit less spicy than I would prefer from a rye, I think. But I'm enjoying this. This is definitely a version of an old-fashioned, I would say, that is definitely for people who want a little bit more whiskey and a little bit less everything else. So like this one, right, has all the citrus in it. It's a little bit more traditional, and it's a little bit more a cocktail, whereas our Whistlepig Rye here is more of a whiskey variation. It's more of a way to drink the whiskey versus this that I would say is a cocktail. I actually prefer the Whistlepig Rye, number one, because I don't personally, my personal taste, which might be a little sacrilege, but my personal taste is I'm not a huge fan always of the citrus in the old fashioned. I prefer more of the brown sugar notes over the citrus notes. So those are the 5 drinks from Steak 48 that I wanted to make. We got our 2 old fashions. We got our River Oaks Rita. We got our pomegranate blood orange. And we got our mango habanero. The blood orange pomegranate, delicious. The River Oaks Rita, delicious. The old fashions, they're the old fashions I like to make. I like to make my old fashions with brown sugar and chocolate and black walnut. And so for me, really good. Really, really good old fashioned choices. Thanks for watching. I'm working on making more videos more often. I will see you very, very soon for the next one. I've been the Spirit Sipper, you've been you. And I guess I'm gonna finish these drinks now.